Most car companies concentrate on selling more vehicles, but Rolls-Royce has spent hundreds of millions of pounds not selling more vehicles, and that's exactly what the money has gone towards. In fact, that sounds completely mad until you understand the luxury world.
The automotive industry is obsessed with volume, bigger factories, bigger production numbers, bigger market share. Rolls-Royce operates under a different philosophy. Its goal isn't to build more cars, it's to create more value for every client who buys one.
As a house of luxury, the entire purpose of Rolls-Royce is to create value. And when I say value, I mean value for our clients and the experiences that we create for them, the memories and the stories that they can share with their family and their friends, and of course the magnificent motor cars that we create by hand in Goodwood. But of course there's a flip side to that. That value that we create makes value for us and our business and to our shareholder.
That sounds simple, but it explains almost every decision Rolls-Royce makes. Success isn't measured by how many vehicles leave the factory, it's measured by how special each one feels when it arrives.
The interesting thing is that in a luxury market that keeps changing, Rolls-Royce isn't abandoning what made it famous in the first place. They're just adapting it.
One of the biggest tests comes with Spectre, Rolls-Royce's first fully electric production vehicle. Many wondered whether ultra-luxury buyers would embrace an electric Rolls-Royce. The answer appears to be yes.
2025 for Rolls-Royce was a really successful year. In terms of our overall client deliveries, they were on the same level as the previous year, and Spectre was the second most in-demand Rolls-Royce. And it's interesting with Spectre, the demand for that motor car is almost identical to that of Wraith, which was a previous super luxury coupe using a V12 powertrain. And the feedback again about Spectre is overwhelmingly positive. It proves that Rolls-Royce can master a V12 engineering feat as well as produce a motor car using a sophisticated electric powertrain, but meet the expectations of a Rolls-Royce client. But the underlying trend we also saw in 2025 was a significant growth in demand for more complex commissions. Now, I'm sitting in the private office here in New York, which we opened at the end of 2024. We now have 5 private offices around the world, one in Shanghai, one in Seoul, Dubai, New York, and of course, Goodwood, the home of Rolls-Royce. And since opening those private offices, the demand we're seeing in every region is growing at a significant pace, which means we need to prepare for the future.
Spectre became the company's second most in-demand model. Even more interesting, demand closely mirrors that of the beloved Wraith coupe. It effectively replaced, for a company whose reputation was built around 12-cylinder engines, that's a significant statement.
The electric car part isn't the most surprising here. What Rolls-Royce owners want is not different powertrains. What they seem to want is more personalization.
That demand is growing worldwide. Rolls-Royce now operates private offices in Goodwood, Shanghai, Seoul, Dubai, and New York, where clients work directly with dealers and specialists to create increasingly complex commissions.
Right, Nick, I think you touched on the answer a little bit there. The whole purpose of a luxury house is to manage your rarity or scarcity, and we're extending the home of Rolls-Royce because we need more space, not so that we can create more volume, but so that we can create more value. The demand I talked about that we're seeing from our private offices and also from our dealer network partners means that we need more space so that we can create these more complicated commissions. And of course, at the same time, we're introducing new offers like Coach Built Collection, where again, we need more space. So the plant extension in Goodwood, which is a significant investment for us, it's about 300 million pounds of investment. So it's a significant investment, and it's all about creating that capacity for those more complex commissions.
That may be the most revealing comment in the interview. The company is investing roughly £300 million in Goodwood, not to build more cars, to build more bespoke cars.
Most manufacturers would celebrate adding production capacity. Rolls-Royce is celebrating adding craftsmanship capacity. It's a very different business model.
The expansion supports increasingly complicated commissions, including special projects like coach-built collection, cars that are often closer to rolling works of art than transportation.
Well, every motor car that we produce, irrespective of its powertrain, must embody the values that you'd expect of a Rolls-Royce. So those values are the silence, the ease of driving, the endless delivery of power, and of course the magic carpet ride. And what we've been able to deliver and achieve and prove beyond any doubt with Spectre is that when we use an electric powertrain, we can dial that up a little bit higher. And so Spectre's proof that that powertrain is something that we've absolutely mastered.
And that may be why Spectre has been so successful. Rolls-Royce didn't build an electric car and hope customers would adopt. Instead, it built an electric Rolls-Royce. There's a subtle but important difference.
The silence, the effortless power delivery, the famous magic carpet ride. Electric propulsion may actually suit Rolls-Royce rather better than many people expected.
For buyers, that appeal isn't technology for technology's sake. It's technology that makes the experience more serene, more effortless, more luxurious.
The challenge for any luxury brand is growth. Grow too quickly and exclusivity disappears. Now, if you grow too slowly, you risk becoming irrelevant.
Rolls-Royce believes it has found the balance. Expand capability, expand personalization, expand experiences, but never expand volume simply for the sake of numbers.
Now, it's almost refreshing to hear the chief executive talk about building fewer things better instead of building more things faster.
In an industry obsessed with scale, Rolls-Royce is betting on scarcity. And judging by demand for Spectre and bespoke commissions, clients appear willing to pay a premium for exactly that.
The lesson here isn't really about luxury cars, it's about understanding what customers truly value when price is no longer the deciding factor.
For Rolls-Royce, the answer appears to be craftsmanship, personalization, and exclusivity, not bigger production numbers, not market share, just making every car feel extraordinary.
Rolls-Royce isn't trying to become the biggest luxury manufacturer in the world. They're trying to remain the most luxurious brand and the most prestigious. And from what I can see right now, it seems to be working. I'm Nik Miles, and I love my job.